Hello YouTube! So for today's tutorial Tuesday, we're actually going to cover quite a few things. We're going to talk a little bit about peel base, and we're going to do the dip process. So hope that this information all helps and that you enjoy this video. Let's get started. So before we get into the actual dip process, I'm gonna give you one of my little tips and tricks that I do. So you'll notice that I'm coming up on needing a fill. I don't want to do my fill yet. It's not a thing I want to do right now. I actually plan to do my fill and cover that in a video for next week's tutorial. So I'm going to pull out my base gel and I'm just going to put a new layer of base gel and push it back toward my cuticle to fill in that space. And then pull it forward across the whole nail. I've already done my prep things, so I'm going to mention this just so you guys know that I did it. I pushed my cuticles back. I did all of like the light buff to scuff up the shine, and I added my dehydrator prior to starting the video. Like I said, just gonna push that gel base back toward my cuticle to fill in the new space. All the way around. And then I'm gonna pull all of the excess down. Gonna cure that. Okay. So our base coat is clear, or is cured. So now we're gonna put the top gel on top of that. And then we will have a nice clean slate to start on. While skipping the fill process for this time. This comes in handy if you are in more of a hurry for your mani time for the day. This way you can just take the like 5 minutes or whatever it is to put on your gel and cure it and then move on to dipping. So while I wait for that to cure, sorry, shaking the world, let's talk about peel base. I use UNT brand, ready for takeoff. I really like this, so I haven't even tried other brands. I watched some YouTube videos comparing a few, and this was the one that was recommended as the best, so this is what I tried, and I'm very happy with it, so why mess with something that's not broken? When you use the peel base, what you're going to want to do is do some experimentation for your first use for it, because everyone's nail chemistry is different and you need to find the application method that works for your nail chemistry. So, for example, I cannot use peel base on my natural nail. Can't do it. It literally will come off within the hour. My nail beds are just far too oily. A drop of peel base and it's over. So I put my clear base dip or polygel or whatever my base mani is on and put my UNT on top of that. So when I apply my UNT, I basically, anything you see here that is the white of my tips that are underneath, that's where my peel base is going to go. I avoid this little strip back here by the cuticle. Because everyone knows the cuticles are the first place to lift anyway, and I don't want to assist in premature lifting. So we just put the peel base on everywhere that is the tip color, because it happens to be just far enough away from my cuticle. I've already put peel base on the rest of my nails in order to have this go a little faster. So we will let that peel base dry on those, and we will work on these ones over here to show you guys some things. So I have Enchanted, which is this really pretty double dip glitter, and I have Clear Base, which is double dip clear, and then I have my double dip liquid set. Let me just move some things out of the way here. All right, so we start off opening up our pretty powder. Okay. So for my clear base that I have on, I have built my apex with the clear, so I'm not going to do that with this. But if you're curious about how I build my apex, I take my dip base, I put it from here down across the whole nail, back up, I dip, come up here, down, whole across the whole nail, dip that, and then I do one more, and I typically only put my top coat back to the cuticle for my clear base. That's dipping in Apex. You can do that with your clear, you can do it with color, you can do it partially with clear, partially with color, whatever method works best for you. Once I've done my Apex building and everything, I typically just do my whole nail for my other dips. So I would start here, and I'm going to push my glue back toward my cuticle a little and then swipe down. That way I'm not flooding my cuticle line. And obviously this is glue, it dries, you gotta move kind of quickly, but double dip's not so bad that you have to move lightning fast, but it also doesn't take a terrible long time to dry. So give that a couple seconds, then we're gonna brush any excess off with our little brush here. You'll notice because I start here and push my glue back just a little, I don't really have any need to like go around my cuticle line here. It's all pretty like even, it's not over my cuticle, it's just set up against my the fold here of my finger, right? And that's kind of like the goal, right? You want to just dip and like it be good. So I personally like that single dip of color. I don't think that I would do a second. Personal preference. You can do 2, you can do 3, however many you want to your desired like thickness and like opacity. I'm going to clear cap though, because really you should clear cap your glitters for sure, but you should definitely clear cap like everything, if I'm being honest, because for one, it just gives for a more even finish, I think, but it protects your colors, protects your glitters, and also a added benefit that I didn't ever even think of until another dipper in a group I'm in mentioned it. It will keep you from staining your activator. I think that I didn't realize that my brush was stained and just stained my clear. Oops. My mistake. So, I personally have come to not really like brushing my activator on like polish. Some colors, depending on situation, another reason you should clear cap, where you touch first, it'll kind of like puddle and like move your color around. So clear capping is always the best policy. But I tend to start down here at the bottom and like move back for my first right? And then if I need more activator, I will go back through like nail polish. You'll see like it didn't get too thick. I already have 3 layers. Actually, I take that back. There's 4 layers of clear because there's my tip, there's back here, there's this 3rd layer, and then there's this last one. And then it's grown out a little, so I put the gel on. So there's 4 layers of clear and then the gel on top. And then we just added the dip of glitter, the dip of clear. Sorry, I really don't mean to shake the whole world. So now we can buff this nail. I tend to find that I only really need to use the orange block to buff smooth. But you can totally use like a block like this. You just have to be more careful not to like get too close to your cuticles with it, because that could go sour really quickly. Right? The other thing to keep in mind is dip will always make your nail wider. So if you have a shape in mind, oops, sorry, shaking things, you're going to want to go back in and clean that shape up. Then you're going to take your activator back out. Give that a few minutes to dry, right? I typically take one of the lint wipes that I'm actually out of. I have to buy more. The lint-free wipes. And I wipe it down with some acetone-free nail polish remover, alcohol, that type of thing. If you don't use a lint-free wipe, it can get tricky. You might end up with little fibers and things on your nail. Like if you use a cotton ball or something like that, or even like a towel, that can happen. You can also rinse with water, not soap. Don't use soap. Soaps will risk contaminating your top coat, same as the activator that you're trying to avoid contaminating with. The thing about top coat is you don't actually want to touch your brush to your nail. Can you see, guys? There's a drop on there, and I use the drop to spread down my nail. That way I don't contaminate my brush. It's not hard. And then I wipe my brush off. Of course, I didn't grab a thing that I usually wipe off on. Anyway, you wipe your brush off before you stick it back in. You give that a couple minutes to dry, and you go in with another coat. I actually have not been using the top coat as much of late, only because I like to do stamping as nail art. Sorry, I didn't mean to shake the camera again. But I like to do stamping for nail art. So the top coat will smear. So I've often been using gel tops because they don't smear my stamps. But that, my friends, is the dip process. It's actually like super easy. It's one of those inexperience causes anxiety, causes mistakes kind of thing. So take your time. Like, notice we are half hour-ish into this video. I have one nail done. Right? Take your time, be patient, step by step it. Do one nail at a time at first, if that helps. Do one step at a time for each nail. So like, put base on this nail, dip it. Put base on this nail, dip it. So on and so forth. Then, if you need more layers, base, dip, all the way through. Activate everything, go through and buff everything, like whatever process works, do that and take your time doing it. I love this color so much. My top coat's already dry too, by the way. And see how that's really not that much thicker than the other nails. So, with practice, your nails will get to be thinner and not quite the thickness that can sometimes happen when you're just beginning. just be nice to yourself. Be patient with yourself too, because you're learning a new thing, and practice makes perfect. Enjoy the journey. Watch the videos, take the tips and tricks. Make pretty things that you like. Who cares if Miss Snooty Nail Tech says they look like crap because they're too thick? Like, once upon a time, her customers were telling her she was crap because her nails were too thick. So, just saying. Spread the love, share the love. Don't worry if somebody's saying mean things about your nails, because they're probably not, for one. And if they are, they're not very nice to begin with, and you just should ignore their opinion, because just because they have one doesn't mean it's a good one. So, anyway, I am going to stop here only because I don't want to make you guys sit here for forever. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I will be happy to answer them. And like I mentioned, I will be doing a fill video for next week. So keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching. Bye.